What's happening, YouTube? It is Saturday, the last day of the month. Saturdays are a hit or miss for us on Saturday. I have an oil change scheduled this morning. Let's see how interesting that becomes. We have the Medical Express van we need to finish up the cooling system bleed and fill on. We have an LS Tahoe or Suburban in for a driver's side motor mount and exhaust manifold for my buddy who owns Body Magic body shop in Philly. But I wanted to ask you guys and girls, how many of you are installing used engines and transmissions? Excuse me. I, for one, have given up on that stuff. I won't install select used parts, but I refuse to do used engines and transmissions any longer. About 18 years ago when I opened, my shop really didn't have any customers. It was ran completely into the ground. And I built it from scratch. And now we're in 2023. We're headed into an election year. It seems our sales trend is like this now. Giant wave. So COVID was, drove it down, and then it went, way back up. And then when Trump was president, it seems like the business system was very consistent on an upward tick constantly. And anything like the stock market and businesses, you would hope that it's always a constant bip. But it's, for us, it's not. It seems like we're back to the old sales trends of busy week, slow week, busy week, slow week. But anywho, when I first opened, I didn't have any customers. Very, very, very few. Even with re-image and remodel and remarketing, it took time to build it up. So I started doing a lot of used car recondition work. Well, what comes with that is engines and transmissions as well. And I just said, I gave up on it after a few years of grooming the business and saying, this sucks. You're working for a specified rate because you're getting so much work, but then you have to have a guy who's proficient at it, and what I mean by proficient is super fast, clean, and accurate. So if he wasn't, you're basically losing money. Okay, so used engine, remove, reinstall, change the oil, cool and bleed and fill, fix any broken-ins, hope that there's no mechanical issues, whatever the case may be. So much goes into a used engine swing. I just said, fuck it, it's not worth it anymore. On top of putting them in, having electrical issues, putting them in with misfires, putting them in, their motors are bad, putting them in, finding out they're sludged, putting them in and rear main seals leaking. Same thing with transmissions. Put a transmission in, it's good for a day or two, and some transmissions have intermittents too, and then it blows up, or you put it in and it doesn't work at all, or you put it in and it fails, 30 days later. So I, for one, have given up on used engines and transmission installs because my opinion is not worth the time. The price of used engines today is ridiculous. Transmissions seem to be fairly affordable, but they're used. But how many people are getting burned out there doing engines and transmissions, used ones? And I'll give you a story. Like, I had a regular customer who had a Mercury Sable or some shit, and I'm going way back. And he needed a transmission because overdrive was bad. Excuse me. And I said, listen, dude, I don't install used engines and transmissions anymore, but since you're my customer, you pick your favorite flavor yard, you buy your own transmission, and we'll install it. I think it's like 5 or 8 hours or some shit, plus fluid, to do the job. Buy it, we put it in. I road tested to Ocean City and back, which is 60, 70, maybe 80 miles. Seemed perfectly fine. He stops back, I guess a week or two after the install, and says, hey, I got an engine light on, the code's for torque converter lockup solenoid or some shit like that. I'm like, it's got nothing to do with me. That's your transmission. I installed it. He said, your only guarantee is that it's not leaking from anything that I put back together and it doesn't fall out of your car. So now he's got sour ass and he's pissed. He's motherfucking and he's doing all this shit and he's not obviously happy. And I said, hey, listen, you can get another transmission, but the charge to do the job is the same, whatever it was, $500, $600, or $700. Excuse me, whatever the labor charge was back then. And he's very pissed off that he had to do that, because the salvage yards don't give a fuck. They're like, oh yeah, it's covered, we'll send you another one, but they don't cover the labor and the fluid and every fucking thing else. That's on you. So I put that transmission in and I never saw that customer again. You know why? Because he was pissed that he basically got screwed on his own, because I advised him about and warned him about junkyard parts, and they're all fucking liars. You know, you ever call and say, oh yeah, that engine's got 30,000 miles on it. Yeah, okay. You know how rare it is for a car to have 30,000 miles in the junkyard? Very rare. Unless that salvage yard specialties in accident vehicles. So that's why I don't install used engines and transmissions. I may even do it for myself, but I already know the risks that you could be screwed instantly. So what are you guys doing? Are you guys out there putting used engines and transmissions in? Give me your feedback. Are you making it worth your while now that you're charging, you know, double and triple the labor time, so you don't really care? And then when it's bad, you're going to call your customer back and say, well, it's bad, and who's paying us for this? Or did you buy the engine and then now you have to eat this job all over again? Thanks for watching, guys. The channel's growing, and that's a big thanks to you.